Year 2 students, welcome to our lesson today. My name's Loretta and I will be your teacher. In our last few lessons, we've been looking at fractions. You may have joined us for those lessons, and in your learning book, you may have your examples of a whole, half, fourth and quarters. You may have your fraction wall, and you may have your shaded fractions. For today's lesson, we're going to be looking at fractions and collections. So you'll need your learning book and you'll need a collection of things to count. But before we start, let's begin with our number talk. I have 3 different sums, 3 different number sentences. I can see with our plus sign that they want me to add these numbers together. So that means when I add them together, I'm going to get a bigger total. So let's start with our first one. I have 23 plus 34. I'm going to use a number line to help me add these numbers together. When I add numbers, particularly on a number line, I always want to start with the biggest number first. That means that I have less steps to get to the answer. So the biggest number in this number sentence is 34. So I'm going to start here at 34. And I'm going to add 23. I'm going to start by adding 20 first. That's 2 tens. So I've got 34, 44, 54. 54 here. I've added 10 each time. And now I'm going to add my 3 left over. 54 plus 3 gives me 57. 23 plus 34 equals 57. Okay, let's do the next number sentence. I have 27 plus 21. My biggest number is 27, so I'm going to start there. 27 plus 21. I'm going to add my 2 tens first. 27, 37, 47, and then I've got one more, 48. So I've got 27 plus 21 makes 48. On my number line, I always write what I'm doing, what my thinking is, so that after other people come and look at my work, they know what I was thinking and what I was doing when I did it. Next one is 43 plus 34. The biggest number in this number sentence is 43, so I'm going to start there and then I'm going to add 34. So 43, I've got 3 tens, 53, 63, 73, and 4 ones, 73. Plus 4 is 77. So remember, it's important to always write what I'm doing. 43 plus 34 equals 77. I hope you got those answers too. I'm just going to reset my board and we'll start with our learning today. Our learning intention today is to find halves and quarters using a whole set of things or a collection. We'll know we can do this when we can split or partition a set or collection equally into groups of 2 or groups of 4. In our previous lessons, we've been looking at splitting and partitioning shapes. Today we're moving over into collections. So let's have a little bit of a look about how that might work. So I have some examples up here. I have examples of a half and examples of a quarter. So we can see halves in real life. So you might have a tomato or an avocado that you have cut in half. So you have 2 equal parts of that fruit or vegetable. And we have our example of where we have our shaded fractions. So we can see that half of these shapes have been shaded. Then we have our collection. So here I can see that all together I have 6 circles. 3 are white and 3 are yellow. So half of my circles are yellow and half of my circles are white. Remember that fractions are all about being equal groups or equal parts. So I've got half of my ducks here that are in this oval collection, and I've got half that are not. So let's have a look over here in quarters. I can see this hamburger here has been cut into quarters. It's been cut into fourths, 4 equal parts. So has my orange. If you play sport, you might have orange quarters at quarter time or half time. I can see my shapes with my shaded part. One quarter of these shapes has been shaded. And then I can see again here my collection. So I've got 4 stars and one of those stars has been coloured. So 1/4 of my stars is coloured. Okay, I also have a collection of cows here. So I have 4 columns of cows, or 3 rows. I'm going to look at the columns, and I can see that the first column of cows has been grouped together and they have been changed to red. So within this collection, this part is showing me 1/4 of the total number of cows. So a fraction can be part of a group, not just parts of a whole object like a shape. We're going to do some examples today together, and then you're going to do some examples on your own at home. So let's start. The first thing we're going to do is to share a collection into halves. So I've got some counters here, and you can see one side is green, the other side is blue. So I'm just going to start with 8 blue counters. And I'm going to put them in a line like this. Okay, now what I would like to do is show how this group can be split into halves. So let's have half blue and half green. So I'll turn this one over. Am I showing half? That's right, I'm not, because I need to have the same number of green tiles as blue tiles. Let's try again. Do I have half? Not yet, because I still have more blue counters than I have green counters. I have 2 green and 6 blue. That's not half. What about now? No, I still have showing more blue than green. How about now? Do I have half? That's right, I do. 4 green and 4 blue. So half of 8 is 4. We're going to use our learning books to record our thinking and our working today. 1/2 of 8 equals 4. Let's try another number. Let's try 20. So I had 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. Now, they're not really set nicely for me to be able to see a half. So let's try putting them into our 10 frame shape. There we go. So I can see I have 2 groups of 10. Can you see half already? I know I can. This is the same as this. So if I turn these ones over to be green, I can see that half are blue, half are green. 10 blue, 10 green. They're equal groups. The total is 20. 1/2 is 10 and the other half is 10. 2 equal groups. So 1/2 of 20 equals 10. Okay, I'm going to do one more number in halves, and that number is going to be the number 14. So I need to get rid of some counters. So now I have 14. Am I showing half? No, because this group is not equal to this group, so it's not half of the collection. Let's try adding these ones together. So I have my whole collection. I can see here, I can already see half down the line. So I can turn those ones over. So half of my collection is green and half of my collection is blue. I have 2, 4, 6, 7, 2, 4, 6, 7. So how many is the total? That's right, it's 14 altogether. And half of 14 is 7. So I'm going to write that in my book. Half of 14 equals 7. Okay, let's move on from halves to fourths now. Let's have a look at splitting a collection into fourths or quarters. Remember, they mean the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to start again with the number 8. So let's see, you might already be able to see quarters here. I can very easily see half. Quarters are 4 equal groups. So each group needs to have the same number. So if I had 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, and 4 groups, I can quite easily see here. I have 1/4 of my 8, another 1/4 of my 8, 1/4 of my 8, and again 1/4 of my 8. If I wanted to think about how many is in 1/4 of my 8, I can take this group and I can see that there is 2. So 1/4 or 1/4 of 8 equals 2. So remember, we're going to record that in our learning book. So 1/4 of 8 equals 2. Okay, let's look at a bigger number now. So I have all of these counters here. I counted them earlier, and I know that there are 40 all together. And I want to work out what 1/4 of 40 is. So that means that I need to split my group into 4 equal groups. So I think the best way is to start sharing 4 ways. So let's do that nice and quickly. If I share into my groups one at a time, I know that they're all going to have the same number at the end. Okay, let me see if I can just organise these so that they are a little bit easier to count, and also so that I can double check and see really clearly that each group has the same number of counters. What do you notice? I notice that each group is a group of 10. So if I share a group of 40 into 4 equal groups, each group has a number of 10. 1/4 of 40 is 10. So let's write that in our learning books. 1/4 of 40 equals 10. Let's try one more number. This time I want to try the number 32. So I've got 40 So let's just get rid of some counters so I can have 32. So I have 40, so if I take away 2, that's 38, 36, 34, 32. So 40 take away 8 leaves me with 32. So remember, I'm trying to find out what a fourth or a quarter of 32 is. So I need to split my collection into 4 equal groups. So let's do that nice and quickly. One at a time. Okay, and I'm just going to quickly arrange my counters so that I can see how many is in each group, and also to see if each group is equal. Each group is the same. Okay, what do you notice? I can see that here I have a group of 8, a group of 8, a group of 8, and one last group of 8. So 1/4 of 32 is 8. Excellent work, and we'll record that in our learning journal. 1/4 of 32 equals 8. Okay, so we can see all our learning for today. We've used collections to find half and to find quarters. Okay, so I have some problems for you. So I would like you to find half of 12, half of 26, 1/4 or 1/4 of 8, 1/4 of 24, and 1/4 of 16. Then see if you can try some of your own. Are there some numbers that you can't split in half equally? Are there some numbers that you can't split into fourths equally? That might be a little bit of exploring for you. I would also like you to make sure that you write your working in your learning book, and also some of those numbers that you explore on your own. Thank you so much again for joining us today. I had a great time learning. I hope you do too, and I hope that you discover some new things about numbers, especially numbers that you might not be able to split in half equally or into fourths equally. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye!